G'day folks, Wren here. It is time for the QueerLit Readathon. My favourite readathon is the QueerLit Readathon because I'm queer and I like reading queer things. So this will be the first time I get to vlog my experience, and I'm already failing. The QueerLit Readathon started yesterday, and I did start reading books, I just didn't vlog the experience. I was tired. I actually had a really big day yesterday, and I completed my Ashati training. So this now means that I am an energetic healer. So I could do, like, the thing that people know most is Reiki, so I can do that now, as well as a bunch of other energetic healing things, and it was amazing. And I'm all official now. I have a certificate. And I started reading The Husband Gambit by L.A. Witt. And I gotta be honest, I was having a great time. I'm 60% of the way through it because I just kept reading it. It was so much fun. So The Husband Gambit is about this guy named Jesse, who his dad, he's like the big man in Hollywood, and he's going to like run for political office or something, and Jesse doesn't really want that to happen because Jesse is very much aware of how much of an awful human being his father is. So he wants to try and like catch his dad out so that he has like proof that he could bring to like the tabloids so that everyone will know what kind of a man his father is. But he has to be like really serious about this. So his plan is to get married because his father is homophobic as well as racist and just basically everything under the sun. This man is. He's awful. But when Jesse came out, there was a deal made that his father wouldn't disown him as long as he never got married. Jesse puts out an ad saying, "I will pay you $1.2 million to be my husband for a year." Hayden answers the ad. Hayden is very, very broke, and he answers the ad. Shenanigans ensue from there. It's a really fun time. I love fake dating and fake marriage stuff. Like, it's my favorite trope ever. So I'm having a great time. I'm enjoying the way this is written. It's written in a really fun way. Like, it's cliche enough in the way that a fake dating trope can be, but it's also not too cliche. And I'm really enjoying the dynamic that Hayden and Jesse have with each other. They're like becoming really good friends, and that's really sweet. They're also like both very much attracted to each other because they're always like, "This guy is so attractive." There is a economic class difference between these two, and it comes up quite a lot, and it makes like a lot of sense, and I really like the discussions about this. The point I'm up to, we've just had the wedding, and it was like the first time that they kissed and they like went into it, and I was like, yeah, good on you. Then I also read 27 pages of Galaxy, the Prettiest Star, which is a graphic novel. Like, it's very good. I love the art in it. The art is great. But this is about a alien princess that has to hide on Earth, and she's been hiding for 6 years now, I think, and she's hiding in the body of like a teenage boy. So I'm honestly not even sure if the pronouns are correct because we like haven't really gotten to that point yet. Everyone is using he, him pronouns because they see, you know, the teenage boy as the teenage boy. But on the inside, it's like this person who's not a boy, maybe. Like, I'm not sure, that discussion hasn't come up yet, but it seems like the whole family that our main character is living with, they're also aliens undercover, maybe. And then there's like a robot dog that talks to the main character, which is very cute. I love the art. I really can't get over the art. It's gorgeous. But story-wise, I'm a little bit confused right now. But like I said, I'm only 27 pages into it, and it's like 200-ish pages. So I'll get to figure it out a little bit more later. what do I need to do today? Do you wanna see what I really need to do? That's my bed. That's my bed full of stuff I need to do. I've been putting off, sorry for the spinning. I've been putting off a lot of like housework stuff for the past like month because I've just been so stressed with uni. But that's over now. So I really need to get things done. Okay, it is day 3 of the QueerLit Readathon. And what have I done? Yesterday I did finish The Husband Gambit and I had a great time. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It was just so fun. I really liked the characters and I really liked their relationship, and I loved that they talked about things. Like, they were just really mature about a lot of things that were happening. I also really appreciated that there was no like 3rd act breakup. Like, I was expecting it and I'm like, come on, where is it? Like, what's happening? And like, it didn't happen. And I loved that. That was great. They were just like such a solid couple throughout the whole thing, and it was really great. I had such a fun time. I highly recommend. It's a really good queer romance with fake marriage, and there's a bit of like a chronic pain rep because one of our main characters is a makeup artist and he gets a lot of tendinitis, and he's often like wearing wrist braces and like taking painkillers, and just like he has to rest his hands and he can't open things sometimes because he's just constantly working with his hands all the time. So what does this complete for the QueerLit bingo? It was indie published, brings me joy. I was smiling like the whole time I was reading it. It was really fun. I swear there was another thing, can't remember, but if nothing else, it's an indie published book, so I've got 1 square done. I'd like to get a lot of reading done today, even though I'm about to go Christmas shopping because I need to go buy a bunch of Christmas presents for my family, and I'm gonna buy them books. Can you hear Chopper licking throughout this whole thing? You doing your nails? I am back from shopping. I am very tired. I spent lots and lots of money, but it's all for the family. I'm not going to show you any presents that I bought, but I will show you what I bought my nephew, who's 6 months old. So because I love books, of course I bought some books for him. So we have Woof Woof Dog, and it's just like, it's got shiny stuff and like textured stuff, and he's only just kind of started getting into books and like being able to like grab things, and so that's very cute. And then I also got Juju Lullaby. It's an indigenous book. I know, but it's very cute, and it's the hard cardboard. But in the back here it does say, you know, this book was created on the lands of the Kaurna, which is the land I'm currently on, so that's really cool. And then a bunch of other cultural groups that it was written on the lands of, so that's very cool. But of course I went shopping and bought some stuff for me. I mean, this first one's kind of not necessarily for me, but kind of. It's Festive Besties, and it's a little dog bandana that I can put on Chopper. Then I got a little special something. Not special. So it's a candle, and I've been wanting one of these for ages. And I finally got one. And it's a plus size letter. So that's awesome. I love that there's like plus size ones of these, so that's awesome. But now for the stuff that everyone's here for, the books. So the first book that I picked up was Amari and the Great Game. This is the 2nd book in the Supernatural Investigation series. I just read Amari like 2 months ago, and I really loved it, so I am very keen to pick up the 2nd one. And then I also got 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot. Is this not the most stunning cover? I love this cover. But this is queer, so we love that. And it's also like paranormal because there are ghosts. Then I went into QBD and ended up buying more books for myself than I did for my friends and family. So first I got Heatwave by TJ Klune, which is the third book in the Extraordinary series. I've only read the first one, I do own the second one, and now I own the third. And I picked up Barbarian Mine and Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. These are books 3 and 4 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I love this series. It's just such a fun series. Like, you don't have to think about it, and it's just a fun, good time. And I really like these new illustrated covers, so that's cool. And then the last one I picked up was, again, one that I've been meaning to pick up for ages, and that is the Clanlands Almanac by Sam Hewen and Graham McTavish. I read first Clanlands book and loved it. I'm Scottish myself, so I really loved just seeing these two actors travelling around Scotland, because they are both Scottish and they're doing that thing. And the TV show that they also did is hilarious and I love it. And I just do love Graham McTavish because he was in The Hobbit and I'm obsessed with The Hobbit. Oh, look, there's even my One Ring. Yeah, Sam and Graham are back to guide you through a year of Scottish legends, traditions, historical and contemporary events. Sounds fun. It's just, I like these guys. These guys are great. There was also a package waiting for me when I got home. So this is my Rabble book subscription, which is very good timing because I have subscribed to Rabble's queer book subscription, and Rabble is a independent bookshop in Western Australia, and they have a couple different book subscription services that you could use. There is a picture book one, which I'm kind of really interested in. There's a First Nations one, which I'm very interested in. And then there is the queer one, which I have purchased. So, we'll see what this is. It feels like a big book. Oh, what? Never heard of this. Silver Under Nightfall by Wren. Okay, I have heard of them. Oh, and it was blurbed by Kendall Blake. I love Kendall Blake. Oh look, here's a Kendall Blake right here. I've never heard of this. This is really cool. Remy Pendergast is many things. The only son of the Duke of Valenbon, an elite bounty hunter of rogue vampires, and an outcast amongst his fellow reapers. Through the kingdom, although the kingdom barely tolerates him, Remy has been shaped into a weapon. When a terrifyingly new breed of vampire is sighted outside of the city, Remy prepares to investigate alone, but then he encounters a shockingly warm-hearted vampire heiress, Xiaodan Song, and her infuriatingly arrogant fiancé, Lord Zaidan Malik. Sorry, these pronunciations are bad. Who may hold the key to defeating the creatures. When he's offered a spot alongside them to find the truth about the mutating virus, Remy faces a choice, one he's certain he'll regret. But as the three encounter dangerous hardships during their journey, Remy develops fond and complicated feelings for the couple. That sounds pretty interesting. I also got a little Rabble bookmark that is very cute. So what does it say? When I think about you, I touch my shelf. Happy reading, book lovers. So this is what it looks like. And then we just have, okay, so then we have the little description that Rabble prints out for each book. So this month I wanted to give you a fun book, maybe even a bit silly. That makes me more intrigued because I thought it sounded like a really heavy book, but if it's fun, that's interesting. Silver Under Nightfall is not too heavy. Awesome. Not too serious, but undoubtedly queer, with many callbacks to the history of vampire stories. I mean, vampire novels have always been queer. Yes. But this year there's been a boon in publishing explicitly queer vampire books. I want to read all of them. So please enjoy eating up this fun slice of 2022. This is the first in a duology, so there's more of these chaotic polyamorous vampires to come. So a limited edition cheeky bookmark that we collaborated on with Mary Spaghetti. Cute. Just super cute. I'm even more excited for this now, knowing that it's like kind of silly and just like a fun time, because that's all I want in life, is just like fun time books. I'm so excited for this. Oh, I just want to completely disregard my entire TBR and read this. I am 8% into Queerly Beloved, partway through chapter 2, and like I kind of want a DNF because it's just fine. There's nothing super intriguing about it, and everything's just fine. Like, that's really all I can say. It's just fine. Like, I'm not even really entertained. Don't super care about the characters. It just seems to be about this baker who is kind of in the closet because she works in a really conservative bakery and her family is very religious. She meets a new person in town and they've just asked each other on a date. Like, I don't care. I feel bad, but I don't know. I don't know if I should DNF it or not. Someone's birthday today. Is it your birthday today? I think it is. It's his birthday today. He's 10 years old and he's very cute. So we're just going to chill down here with him for this little update. But some reading has gotten done. I think I'm definitely going to DNF Queerly Beloved. Like, since I stopped reading it yesterday, I've had no inclination to pick it up. Even to the point where I'm like, I actively am avoiding it. Like, I don't want to read it. So I think I'm definitely going to DNF that. I had that on the bingo for Queer Joy. Honestly, even reading like the first chapter and a half, I wouldn't consider it Queer Joy, considering how much the main character is still in the closet and feels like she has to be. I personally wouldn't consider it Queer Joy. Last night I started reading You Better Be Lightning, which is a poetry collection. Oh my god, it's fantastic. I've only read like 40 something pages, but it's phenomenal. The poetry is so well written. Just the way that this poet is crafting stories that are so real and you can understand what's happening, but it's still incredibly complex poetry. And like, it makes you feel, it makes you hurt, makes you smile, it makes you really think about things. And, oh, it's so good, and I'm so glad I picked this up. It's really good. Then while I was on my bed with Chopper and we were just like chilling out for a while, I did read something else. I read Seance Tea Party by Ramina Yee. I had this on for 5-star prediction, and you know what? It's a 5-star. It was so cute. I love the art. The main character's like vibe of just, she's obsessed with Halloween, and I'm like, girl, me too. So what was this about? This was about a 13-year-old, 12 or 13-year-old. She grows up a lot throughout this. But the point of this is that she's very scared to grow up. She doesn't want to be a teenager. She wants to still be a kid that believes in magic and wants to play and doesn't care about what's popular or memes or fashion or relationships or anything like that. You know, she just wants to still be a kid, and she's really scared about growing up, and she thinks all of her friends are kind of distancing themselves from her. So she has a seance one day and a ghost appears. Turns out it's her imaginary friend, and they be friends, and like, magic is real. They have a lot of fun, and the ghost kind of helps our main character grow up in a way. Like she's there to just like have like a guiding hand and be like, look, you know, you can have friends that are interested in the same things as you, and you know, just because people grow up doesn't mean that they stop believing in magic and stuff. And it was all just very, very cute, and really just our main character growing up and, you know, going through those stages of life where you're really not sure what's happening, because it's like you're forced to grow up really quickly, but like you don't want to, because being a kid is fun, and it's like a really complicated situation that you really have to, you know, work your brain around. It's hard. So this I loved. It was so sweet and cute, and just about like friendship and discovering yourself, but in a really like understated way. Like queer representation, it's pretty undefined, but like these are like 12 and 13-year-olds. You don't have to have a label at that age, for sure. We do have a male-male side relationship, and then our main character, I'm just gonna call her queer, because she, you know, there's a scene where she's trying to pick who she wants to go to prom with, like their middle school prom, and she shows up like a picture of a bunch of people that she's considering asking out, and there's many gendered people in there. Once again, my head hurts, so I'm gonna be heading into bed soon, and it's not even 8 o'clock. Awesome. I have gotten a lot done today though, so that's really good. I listened to Nature Poem by Tommy Pico, and I loved it so much. It's also narrated by Tommy Pico, which is awesome. And I read this for the intersectionality prompt. Tommy is a gay Indigenous man. He does talk a lot in this poetry collection about what it means to be Indigenous, what it means to be queer, and the expectations that are put on him for both of those things. He's like, you know, I don't want to write a nature poem, you know, this isn't a nature poem, and he keeps like repeating that, because, you know, this is what my nature poem would be about, or this is my type of nature. And so that was really interesting, of just different types of culture, and like as the world progresses with like technology and societal things, then people's cultural things might also change. But then like towards the end of the poetry collection, he's also just like, this is a nature poem. I give Nature Poem 5 stars. It was fantastic. He's such a good poet. And then I was just really in like an audio book mood today, because I had so much to do and my brain wasn't really working. So what I could have done was stuck to my TBR and read Upright Women Wanted, but I wasn't feeling it. Instead, I listened to Ace by Angela Chen, and this is a non-fiction about asexuality, and as an asexual myself, I've wanted to read this for years, and now I have, and I'm like speechless and like overwhelmed and vulnerable, because it's like when someone has just like peeled back all of the layers that you've put up between like your true self and the world, and they're just like almost violently like pulled it away and like have taken out your inner core and like exposed it. That sounds really awful, but like that's kind of how I'm feeling. You know, there are some times when, like being ace, you feel like the elephant in the room almost, you know, you feel like the thing that like everyone's aware of it, but you're the only one there. So it's really good to know that, you know, there's so many people out there that feel the same, and but also feel different, because there's so many different facets of being asexual, and everyone experiences it in such different ways. It really hit hard, and especially the chapter on consent. Like, my stomach is still in knots about that, because that was intense. And wow, did I relate to so much of it. And then just to know that so many other asexual people have like experienced this almost like confusion with consent, because, you know, like there's sometimes where you think, well, you know, I have to have sex with my partner because otherwise they won't love me, or, you know, they're going to think something, or, you know, you feel kind of pressured into it because of something your partner has said. So, you know, you go along with it anyways, and then you feel awful afterwards because you didn't really want it. And then it's like, do you feel angry at your partner because they should have known you didn't want it? But then it's like, you know, you technically said yes. Like the word yes, like, came out of your mouth, even if on the inside you were like screaming no. And there was this whole thing of like, you know, where does the blame lie? Does it lie with the partner? Does it lie with you? Or does it... But then it's what it was saying is like, you almost can't blame either of you or any of you, like depending how many people are in this relationship, because it's being asexual and maybe not knowing you're asexual, or not having this kind of open communication with your partner about your comfort levels with asexuality. Like not doing any of that can really muddle the lines with consent. And it was, I related so much to so much of what was happening, and in a really like confrontational way. Like it hits home a lot. And yeah, I need to not talk about this because I am too vulnerable right now. In the grand scheme of things, it's a fantastic book. I desperately want to own it just so I can just keep rereading it over and over again, because like there's some just really interesting things about like society and how society views things and how asexuality like doesn't fit into it. But then when you think about societal things, then it becomes really weird that like how prominent sex and sexual relationships are, like to a really like uncomfortable level, even if I wasn't ace. It's a fantastic book, and everyone go read it, whether you're asexual or not. Alright, it is the very last day of the QueerLit Readathon, and I have a lot to do. I didn't film anything yesterday because I had a very busy day. I basically spent the entire day babysitting my nephew. It was a great time, he's adorable. And then at night time, I went out to dinner for my niece's 13th birthday. So that was also fun. And then after we had dinner, I went back to my niece's place, and she had gotten a fairy floss maker for her birthday. So she wanted to make me some fairy floss because I couldn't eat her birthday cake. Like she's very much a baker, so she baked her own cake and it looked awesome. It was like 3-tiered red velvet cake, and she did like an underwater theme. It was very cool. So because I couldn't eat that, she was like, oh, let me make you some fairy floss. And I was like, okay. Wow, fairy floss is, wow, sugar. So I had a good time. I did get to read some yesterday. I got 57% of the way through Deal with a Demon, and it's very adorable. I'm having a great time. It's basically just about this single mum who just lost one of her jobs. So she has 2 jobs to like support her family, and she just got fired from one of them. So she needs to find a second job, but it's really hard for her to find a second job because she doesn't have a car. So things have to be, you know, close to public transport. And, you know, she couldn't take one that was an overnight shift because then no one would be home with the kids. And so she was really struggling on like what she would do. And then she ended up kind of answering an ad that was like Success for Humans or something. Brought you to an app. It was like, you know, these are the terms and conditions, you know, click accept and success is yours or something like that. And so, like a typical, I'm just going to assume she's a millennial, but yeah, there was no reading of terms and conditions, so she clicked accept, and it turns out that she summoned a demon. And there's this big, grey-skinned, horned, yellow-eyed, naked demon in her house. And like her kids are like having a great time. They're like, it's a demon. The point is that like this demon is here for 28 days to help this mother get success in whatever way that would be. So what this mother does is she says, oh, the demon can look after the kids overnight while I go to this overnight job. And he just has to make sure, you know, the kids stay alive and that they get off to school okay and like have breakfast in the morning and that kind of thing. And the demon's very like, this is what you want me to do? Like, babysit? She's like, yeah, this is awesome. And so they start doing that. And it's so just like domestic and cute because then like the kids end up really loving this demon. He's like become a part of the family. I'm having a really good time. I was wondering like about the queer representation in this. So we have, this is the thing that I was kind of struggling with because there are some books with queer representation, but the queer person is not human. And like some people in the queer community, rightfully so, don't like that representation. Whereas some people do. So I don't know whether to count the demon or not. Like one of the woman's kids, like the first thing she asks the demon is like, what are your pronouns? And I was like, yes, like that's so good. And the demon replies with like, he, they, neither, either. Like, he doesn't really care. For the rest of the book, it seems that the family just uses he, him pronouns. So don't know what's happening with that. So there was that, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I'm not opposed. And then we do get other queer characters. So we have a young boy. I mean, he hasn't labeled himself. He's like a very young teenager. And as of right now, it just seems that he might like another boy. So there's that. And then the mother actually makes a new friend at her new job, and that friend is a woman with a wife. So there is like just like a queer world. So I'm happy about that. The fact that it's like there are human characters that are queer as well as one of our main characters being queer, that somehow feels like a little bit more acceptable. I don't know if I'm saying all the right things, but it is queer. We'll just say that. But yes, I'm having a very good time with that. And I think I had that down for spooky. So I need to finish Deal with a Demon. I still need to finish You Better Be Lightning because I haven't done that yet. I did start reading the Heartstopper yearbook this morning and it's adorably cute. I'm having a great time. So I want to finish this as well. Then technically the rest of the things on my TBR were In Other Lands, which is a group book. I'm not getting to that. And then I also had Zodiac Star Force, which I would still like to get to. If I have time, I really like to get to it. And then I also have Upright Women Wanted. It's like the last thing on my TBR that I'll complete. Like if I get through Zodiac Star Force as well as everything else, then I'll read it. So guess who was editing this vlog and realised that they didn't film an outro? This person. I did finish the QueerLit Readathon and I read almost my entire TBR. I never got to the group book, and that's okay. I kind of knew that I wasn't going to get to that pretty early on. I also didn't read Upright Women Wanted. I might read it later on in the month, but no real rush. So I did end up finishing the Heartstopper yearbook. Super, super, super cute. I loved all of it. It was really cool to see Alice Oseman's like history of Heartstopper. So like, you know, when they first started drawing, when things got released, and like the process of the TV show, like that was so cool. And I love it. It's so cute. I think that got me queer joy because obviously. I also finished You Better Be Lightning. Oh my gosh, that's a 5-star. That's probably one of my favorite books of the year. It was an amazing poetry collection. Just like, it was just really like telling a story. Every poem was telling a story about the poet's life, really. And it was just beautifully done, and it was fascinating. I desperately want to read anything else this poet has written because they're kind of amazing. So that went in for not a novel, I'm pretty sure, but I'll put up a little graphic here so you can see all of the bingos that I got for the QueerLit Readathon. I got quite a few, I'm pretty proud of it, and I had so much fun reading. I think I got 4 5-stars, maybe. I read so many good things this past week and it was so much fun. I will say that I didn't get to finish Deal with the Demon in the allotted time, but I have since finished Deal with the Demon and I gave it 4 stars and I really loved it. It was super cute and it had a very nice steamy scene, and I would like to point out that I was having some misgivings about the queer rep, but turns out that our main character is bisexual herself, so it's all totally fine, but it was really good and I highly recommend that. It's very cute. That'll be it for my QueerLit Readathon vlog for 2022. I'm really looking forward to the next few rounds of the QueerLit Readathon. If you did the QueerLit Readathon this month, please let me know what you read. I'm always here for some queer recommendations. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.